Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today I will show you guys about the unit buff that you see on the screen. We have three different buffs. We have physical defense and magical defense. We have physical attack and magical attack, and of course the last one being troops HP 10%. 10%, it sounds a lot, right? It sounds very huge, but a lot of the people that I've seen do not have or do not have 5 of the same units. And I think for a very long time people basically don't use the last buff because most of the meta like beforehand, unless you have like a full holy chaos stuff, right? You don't use 5 immortals or 4 immortals and 1 dragon with the same element. Usually you probably end up using something like this, right? Let's take this as an example, right? You use 3 semi-immortals element, and then you have same dragon as well, so you have 4, and then you have 1 different. So you end up with something like this, right? Like the same thing as this, but instead of here, you probably go with Himiko, you probably go with Genghis Khan, something like that, right? So now you're ending up with only 3 of the same units, and then they have 2 difference here. So I think a lot of the people are thinking about only using the first buff here with the defense, because the attack, when I was testing it, the attack, right, it only increases by like 4 to 500 or maybe 4 to 600 around that area, right? So for example here, if I were to use 4 units, right, of the same thing, this number will go to around 15,000, I would think. Let's take a look here. So it was 14,400, and if I was to put here, so now I got 20% more, right? So it probably would go to 15. Okay, so it go up with like 900 here. But usually, if you are having a lower, for example, physical attack, right, it doesn't go that far up. It goes probably like 5, like I said, 4 to 600. But when you have very high numbers like 14,500 and above, it will go around. It will go 20%, right, which is like 6, 7, 800, sometimes 1,000, depending what kind of other buff and all the stuff you have there as well. And of course, specialization and stuff really plays in a role. So do you think that is important? Will the damage like from 1,000 more attack do anything? So I did some raid and testing here as well, and you can see here, let me find that thing here. No, yeah, here. So it pretty much didn't make any difference, right? And keep in mind, I'd make a video about the differences between physical attack and physical damage, right? So we have 2 different skills here, right? We have, let me go here so we can have better understanding. So here we have onslaught, right? We have physical attack by 60%, and then we have not this one, we have this one, physical damage. Which one should you pick, right? I will always go for this because it increases your damage. If you basically go for this, right, it increases potential damage, if you know what I mean. So yes, it does increase the potential of making more damage by having higher attack, but it does not necessarily translate to more damage, right, in general and on average. So in my opinion, if you are still thinking about like trying to get these to get at least 4 to 5 units or 4 units, right, in my opinion, it's not necessarily. It's necessarily when you have everything maxed, right? If you, for example, like this March right here, I have shadow buff right here, and my Himiko is pretty much maxed out in terms of damage, right? in terms of damage, and right now she is only 9,300, but that is because of the dragon. If I had maxed the dragon as well, this would have probably been near 11,000, right? So you see my dragon is barely, working, right? So if I were using something like this, right, with 8 and 8, she would probably have way more attack and, would probably do more damage as well. But for me, this is just something I play around, and I feel like a lot of people might overthink about this and think that they have to get this. In my opinion, in the early game, you won't see that much of a difference, but in the late game, you will be seeing some difference, especially if you want to go either glass cannon, you want to go something like general. Between those two, you will see much more difference. And the reason that I'm trying to use Shadow Dragon right now is because I want to test if this is going to be making a huge difference, because I used to only use this, the physical defense, and it was working really well. I got some good damage as well, but I want to get more. So I've been testing with this, and let me show you guys in arena. Yes, the dragon is a little bit weak. So here, normally if I use Earth Dragon here, I probably would have won this, right? But here, I was just checking the damage, and I think it was really good. And here it was doing well as well. Normally he would have, lost way less than this, right? So it's like here. So you see it's performing alright, not too bad. And here as well. So I'm very happy with the result, although the dragon is very low. It's not upgraded at all. But if you have like a lot of things almost maxed or maxed out, I think this one is, you can start about thinking about this one, right? Try to get 4 units. But if you are, trying to build something, if you're trying to do something, right, like with only having 3 units of this, only if you have 3 of the same units, you will be fine as well. You will still do very, very good. So it's not important to get like 5 of the same unit like this one, right? The water marches is fine with only 4 as well, and only 3 is also still going to be very good, because the extra attack is not the damage, right? It's not the damage. It's not the same as defense, because defense is basically applies directly to your immortals, but attack just basically apply that you have more chance to do more damage. So in my opinion, you don't really need to focus so much on having 4 units of the same element, right? But it's good to have, of course. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Let's conclude this with very simple thing. I think it's not important that you guys focus on that at all, unless you are at very end stage where you have everything maxed out. That's only where you're going to see a huge difference, right? But if you are in the middle of the game, early game, I don't think you are, you won't be seeing a lot of difference between these two together. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video.